Hi everyone, you join me on the road from Downham Market to Thetford, and this afternoon we're going to actually sort of take a quick trip through Thetford and then on towards Diss, just to sort of show you the Norfolk Suffolk borders and a part of the sort of East Anglia known as the Brecklands. Just give you a sort of quick look at the sort of scene behind me. I've just literally pulled over for coffee, and of course I'm in test today, so I think what we're going to do, because it's quite a nice day, is we'll put the top down and then we'll go off for a drive. So you'll join me shortly in the car. See you in a second. Made up to Nottingham, and so far this has been a 257-mile trip with an overnight stay, and the route that I took was to go from Framlingham up to Norwich and then over the top of Lincolnshire towards Boston, and then sort of, you know, heading off west for Grantham and then to Nottingham. And the day I went, which was a Friday, the roads were absolutely rammed with agricultural lorries. I also think because it was sort of a Friday before the end of the school holidays, there was probably quite a lot of traffic going to and from the North Norfolk coast and the Norfolk Broads. So we weren't stuck in traffic for all that long, but what we did find was that every time you approached a roundabout, there would be like a 2-mile tailback to the roundabout, because all the roundabouts on the sort of western side or the coastal side of Lincolnshire are all intersections with sort of fairly busy and major roads. Yeah, it was a tricky one. So an hour that would not a journey, I should say, that would normally take 4 hours ended up taking 5 hours. This time, coming back, I decided to go on the sort of on the west side of the Fenlands, so skirting sort of around Peterborough and Wisbech, and then obviously Downham Market, and we're now on our way to Thetford. But hopefully, you know, that will have saved a bit of time and certainly some miles. So this is rather unlike any of the other Suffolk, Norfolk landscapes that I've shown you so far. But it's a nice contrast, and it's interesting to see which species of trees come into leaf first in the spring. So you've got this myriad of colours and different shades of green emerging, and we're what, sort of second week of April now. I think the guy in front wants the next turnings because that's where the picnic place is. We'll hold back a bit and see if he decides to leap in there. Yep. This is a wonderful bit of road, actually. I don't often get onto this bit, probably only sort of 2 or 3 times a year, and I always forget just how nice it is to drive. I have to be honest, of all the 269 miles that I've done this weekend, this is the first bit of road we've been on which isn't littered with potholes. So I'm not sure which local authority is responsible for the A134, but whoever you are, thanks very much, guys. This is much appreciated. YouTube channel which is produced by a young guy called Adam C. So Adam, A-D-A-M, and he's an interesting young man. He has a passion for all things automotive and an encyclopedic knowledge of cars from the last 20 years, I would say. He owns an MGB GT, he's got a Toyota Chaser and an AC Cobra replica, and then a Nissan 260Z, something like that. I'm not very good with these Nissans. But anyway, his channel is devoted to going to car meets and looking at what young people do to personalize their cars and sort of, you know, promote the modified car scene, particularly among the JDM, the Japanese domestic market cars. And very entertaining chap. He's extremely good at ad-libbing, very funny, and always has an interesting take on the car scene and cars in general. But he was saying in one of his recent videos, and I don't know if he was joking, but he was saying that pretty much everywhere in Surrey, the speed limits are 40 miles an hour. And I was thinking about that and wondering how many Ferrari, Porsche, Lamborghini owners live in the sort of stockbroker part of Surrey. I think you'd be pretty gutted if you bought one of these wonderful supercars and there was no way, you know, within sort of 10 miles of your home that you could drive at more than 40 miles an hour. And it made me realise how lucky we are living in this part of the world, certainly. But it also made me wonder whether this sort of increasing clampdown on cars, you know, in terms of sort of increasing the areas covered by speed limits like sort of 30 and 40, whether that's just an exponential process. Because if so, it won't destroy our enjoyment, but it'll mean having fast cars becomes pretty irrelevant. I mean, I can happily enjoy pootling around at 40 miles an hour in this car, but it really comes alive at 60. You know, I don't want to do more than the national speed limit, but you know, when the conditions are right and you've got a good empty road and it's safe to do so, it's really nice to sort of let the old girl go. And you know, 40 miles an hour, you'd hardly ever use overdrive in this. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull in and let this car go past. And he gets it. So that's what was following us. He looks pretty pleased with himself, which I don't blame him, I would be too. It sounds great. One of the interesting things actually just following this Escort is I noticed the handling is obviously much better than the Triumph, because he is able to leave his braking till much later. I have to really brake early so that I'm slowing in a straight line before going into the corner. He's right on the corner before he hits the brakes. Now, it'd be interesting to see what the difference might be if I was in the Mark II with its different rear suspension, and I suspect that in Bess, in the Mark II, I would probably be able to outbrake the Escort. But not in this one. The swing axle in these Mark 1 and 2 litre Vitesses is not forgiving. Better now on modern radials than it was in the day, and certainly much better than it was with the early Vitesses on cross plies. But if you go into a corner too fast in one of these and you lift off, the weight moves to the front and the back end rises, causing the rear wheels to tuck under in sort of positive camber. And once that happens, your back end can come around very quickly to meet you. Well, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Just a quick mention to one of my subscribers, Bob. Bob, I hope you get your stag on the road and out and enjoying this fine weather, ready for drive it day. And that same message to everybody else who's got an old car. You know, really hope you get to enjoy them over the next few weeks. And if you are interested, on the 7th of May, I'm going to take Tess to the annual Ipswich Transport Museum event, which is the run from Christchurch Park in Ipswich to Felixstowe seafront. And we'll be in a convoy of a few hundred historic vehicles, including cars, trucks, military vehicles, motorbikes, and even historic bicycles. Obviously, I'm hoping to film this, so as soon as I've done it, I'll load it up onto YouTube so you can have a look. But if you want to see an impromptu car show, either get to Christchurch Park on Sunday the 7th, sort of around 10 o'clock, or get to Felixstowe seafront at about 1 o'clock. And you'll see some of the most amazing cars and buses and trucks that there are in Suffolk. It's a great day out, and again, if you go to Felixstowe, there'll be something for the whole family. Hope to see you then.